Yo, what's good YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. More importantly, welcome to College Football Revamped. I'm so excited to get some college football videos up on this channel. If you want to see more of this, just say the word. Anyways, unfamiliar with the College Football Revamped? It's simple. It's NCAA Football 14, but with updated rosters, uniform stadiums, made by a big group of people. And considering that we do have the College Football Playoff plus some NY6 Bowl games coming up soon in the next few weeks, I decided to get it downloaded on my computer, and we're going to simulate them through on College Football Revamped. Quick fair warning, my computer, it doesn't have the greatest graphics card in the world, so you might see some frame drops. It's expected when you download something like this on your computer. Anyways, with that being said, here are the 6 bowl games on the screen right now. 2 of them happen to be playoff games. This happens every single year. It's called New Year's 6. New Year's weekend, we have 6 matchups. And our 2 playoff matchups are the Peach Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl. In the Peach Bowl, we have the number 1 Georgia Bulldogs versus the number 4 Ohio State Buckeyes. In the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, we have the Michigan Wolverines and the TCU Horned Frogs. And then our other bowl games, which are not playoff games, but still in the New Year's 6 roster, we have the Tennessee Volunteers versus the Clemson Tigers, and the South Carolina Is Your Daddy Bowl, or sorry, the Orange Bowl, how ironic. And then you have the All-State Sugar Bowl, the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Kansas State University Wildcats, I believe? I don't remember. And then you have the Cotton Bowl, which is between the USC Trojans, the Tulane Green Wave, and the iconic Rose Bowl. You have the Utah Utes and the Penn State Nittany Lions. With all that being out of the way, we're going to start with the College Football Playoff Semifinal, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, the Georgia Bulldogs, and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Let's go. Alright, we'll pick up with Ohio State and Georgia. Kind of laggy to start, but Ohio State, led by C.J. Stroud, Heisman finalist, down by 3 currently, to this solid Georgia defense. Going to start the pass to the left sideline. It's knocked up by Nyland Green for a deflection. It's going to remain a 2nd down and 10 with 1:20 on the clock. C.J. Stroud, it's going to be tough to get some yards here. This team is trained pretty well for moments like this. Nolan Smith was coming into the pocket, almost got the sack, forced C.J. Stroud to throw an uncomfortable football up the middle of the field, and another deflection by this Georgia defense. So it's a 3rd down and 10. C.J. Stroud looking to his right now, going towards Kaylee Ringo, but almost throws a pick. Ringo cannot bring it in and was out of bounds anyways. So it's a 4th down and 10 for Stroud. Just like that, 3 straight incompletions. This would be game if Ohio State cannot convert here with no timeouts on the board. Stroud going to go for a short dump-off pass. It's closed up quickly. 4 yards short. Georgia will take over on downs, and they will win the semifinal game here in Atlanta. So all they're going to do now is they're just going to put their backups in as Carson Beck is quarterback. Hey, so Kenny McIntosh running straight up the middle. That's going to be the final play. Time will not be stopped by the Ohio State Buckeyes, and the Georgia Bulldogs will move on to the national championship, beating Ohio State 27-24 in a solid final defensive drive. Here you can see Ohio State almost won in every category, passing and rushing yards. They lost time possession just by a minute. Stetson Bennett, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Travion Henderson for Ohio State, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Mondon and Simon on defense were the players of the game. And we'll pick up with our next matchup is TCU versus Michigan in Glendale, Arizona for the Fiesta Bowl, now called the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. But TCU is down a point. It started at 29. This is the 2 versus 3 seed. Ignore the seeds at the bottom. Look at this. A Duggan pitch to the left is going to have a Bailey pickup, Imani Bailey pickup for 14 yards. It's going to be a 1st down and goal. Big play right there. Gutsy play call by TCU. So now 1st down and goal, down by 1. They'll do it again. This time Max Duggan will take it himself for the touchdown. Go ahead lead for the TCU Horned Frogs. It's going to put them up by 5. They would go for 2. They wouldn't get it. So Michigan will be down by 5. Take a look at these stats. 739 total yards with TCU. 560 by Michigan. So Cade McNamara, if I said his name right, I'm sorry. It's kind of a confusing name. He'll get the football. Even though he did transfer to Iowa, he'll be playing this bowl game. So 2nd down and 10 for Cade. I'm just going to call him Cade now because it's just hard to spit out. 2nd down. They're going to hand it off to Blake Corum, their star running back who got injured early on. He'll end this game. He really shouldn't be playing this. It really doesn't make sense. That's not Blake Corum, actually. Blake Corum's number 2. But loss of 2. 3rd down and 12. And a drop. So a 3 and out for the Michigan offense is the last thing you want to do in this situation. TCU just has to drive the clock now. TCU's been driving. It's a 3rd down and 7 now with 2 minutes left. Max Duggan can close out this game for the TCU Horned Frogs and has a completion to the left sideline. It's going to stop the clock at 2 minutes and going to force Michigan to start calling timeouts. So now a 3rd down and 12. They've been driving down the field. Worst case scenario, a touchdown, but they can stop to 3, and Michigan's defense will hold them short. Quentin Johnston, the star receiver, to the 4th down and 1 now. So they're going to kick the 3, what they should have done right there, but Michigan will get the ball back. 23 seconds left for Cade McNamara, however you say it. He has some pressure and going downfield, can't get it. He's going to get taken down for a sack. They got to get up quick. They don't have any timeouts. Look at this. College Football Revamped doing something Madden can't even do, is hike the ball and snap it and spike it to the ground. Madden can even do that. 8 seconds on the clock, 3rd down and 14 for this Michigan offense if they want to stay alive to play the Georgia Bulldogs and the College Football National Championship in LA. Going deep here is Cade McNamara, and it's incomplete. Final play of the game. Michigan just going to go for a short dump-off pass. It goes nowhere, and TCU will stun Michigan, and they will move on to play the Georgia Bulldogs in the College Football Playoff Championship. So here's the stats right here. TCU 580 passing yards. No thanks to Max Duggan, Heisman finalist. As you can see, Blake Corum, who was injured, but he had 4 touchdowns. It didn't matter, didn't win. But Max Duggan, 500 yards and 2 total touchdowns. Upshawn Winters on defense. Alright, we're going to take a break from the college football playoff because we're going to do our bowl games really quickly, which includes the Sugar Bowl, Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl, and Cotton Bowl, if I'm not wrong. We're going to start with the Orange Bowl, though, which is, conveniently enough, as I said, the Clemson Tigers and the Tennessee Volunteers. So, from the Orange Bowl in Miami, we're starting the first quarter. Tennessee up 7-0 over Clemson. Clemson gets 3, and Clemson will go down to get another 3. So it's 6-7, but Tennessee scored a touchdown. 14-14 now. Clemson ties it up. Another Clemson touchdown. Clemson running away with this one late in the 4th. Tennessee will score another touchdown, but not enough as Clemson went up to a 35-28 lead and gets a Orange Bowl victory over Tennessee. Now in the All-State Sugar Bowl, it's Alabama versus Kansas State. I believe this is held in New Orleans. Kansas State has a lead right now over Alabama, and they will not be able to score again until halftime is over. 14-14 now. We're heading to the 4th quarter. 14-14 still. This one could go to overtime. Alabama scores. Kansas State responds late. We're in overtime. 28-28, 35-35. Triple overtime. Alabama wins it, going for 2. 43-41. Man, that would have been a good game to watch. Sugar Bowl, Alabama and Kansas State. Good game. Now around to our Cotton Bowl. Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Do not remember where this one's held, but USC is already up 17-14. Now making a 10-point lead for USC. And it looks like Caleb Williams and USC is pulling away with this one. They're making a statement, man. They wanted to be in that playoffs, and this shows why. They beat Tulane 45-17, but to be fair, this is probably the easiest competition you get a New Year's 6 game. And now for the Rose Bowl, the iconic Rose Bowl, held in, obviously, I believe, I can't remember the name of the stadium. The Rose Stadium? The LA Stadium? I don't know. It's an iconic stadium. It's 7-7, 14-7 now. Utah has a lead over Penn State. Penn State going down to tie it. They cannot. We're at the 3rd quarter now. Now Penn State ties it before the 4th quarter begins. Utah 21-21 Penn State. Penn State gets their first lead of the game. It's tied up at 28. Another overtime game. Utah scores. Penn State cannot respond. And the Utah Utes will beat Penn State here at the Rose Bowl. Alright, so now to get to the part we've all been waiting for, the National Championship, which will be in Inglewood, California, in SoFi Stadium, between the Georgia Bulldogs, the number 1 seed, and the TCU Horned Frogs, the number 3 seed. On screen right now, you can see the winners of all bowl games, and then on screen right now, you can see what the playoff bracket looks like, just the 4 teams where Georgia and TCU will meet here for SoFi Stadium, the National Championship. Let's go. We're going to begin the National Championship game in LA, going to overtime, but I want to set your eyes on something because Max Duggan is not in the game. Actually, his backup is in, Chandler Morris. There was an injury in the regular time given, but now we're going to overtime. TCU, with Chandler Morris, backup quarterback, has pushed an overtime period, and they won the coin toss, and they elect to defend first. So Georgia will get the football first in overtime. You start from the 25-yard line in college. Overtime rules, if you're not aware, Here's Stetson Bennett on the first play. It's going to be a first down. Pick up the lad McCockney. And going forward, 38-38. It's going to be a second down. Or now, first down and 10. Fake the handoff. Stetson Bennett's got some blockers. And he's all close to another first down. It's going to be second down in inches. Already just a few punches away from getting a touchdown and an extra point to take a lead in overtime. Stetson Bennett goes up the middle. We'll throw an incompletion here. So it'll be third down in inches. I would run the football here. They decide to do that. They run it to the outside. Not smart. I would run this up the middle, and they cannot convert when needing inches. So they have to kick the field goal here. It was a loss of 3.5 yards. 4th down and 4 now, but should be easy field goal kick for Hot Pod to make this a 41-38 game. So if you're not aware of the college football overtime rules, that means TCU gets the ball back at 25-yard line as well. If they score a touchdown, this game is over. So here's Chandler Morris, the backup quarterback in the national championship game. Up the middle already, big completion. It's going to put him at the 7-yard line. First down and goal, new set of downs for TCU to possibly win this game here in overtime 1. Morris on the pass again. Looking to his right, here comes some pressure and he's taken down. A huge sack and a huge response for this Georgia defense. It's still a second down and goal, but now 5 yards back. It's around the 12-yard line now. Chandler Morris on the pass again. Run to his right. Throws over top the end zone. It's another incompletion. It's third down and goal. So already both these teams have had collapses after having some solid plays. Quarterback draw for Morris goes nowhere. And we're going to have another field goal. So if they make this, it's tied at 41. And we go to second overtime. Obviously, if he doesn't make this, Georgia wins the game. But the chances of that happening, pretty slim. So to tie this at 41 here in the national championship game. And kick is up. It's through the uprights. We're tied at 41. We are going to the second overtime period, where TCU will start the ball this time. So they have it back-to-back possessions. Here goes Morris on the run. He's to the 20. He has some space and a blocker. Gets a block. Stiff arms to the 5, plus some more, almost to the end zone. Carries it all the way to the 1-yard line. And first down and goal for Morris on an insane quarterback run. They're going to pass the second down goal. He's going to do it again. He breaks the tackle, and he's in for the touchdown. TCU takes a 6-point lead. Extra point would make this 48-41 over Georgia. They get the extra point. Stetson Bennett gets the ball back for the Bulldogs, and they have to respond here. Bennett goes to his left, has a first down. Adonai Mitchell, he's going to push to around the 12-yard line. And they have a second down and 2 now. They'll hand the ball to Kenny McIntosh. He punches through. Extra point away from tying this one and going to a third overtime period. Crazy game so far between TCU and Georgia, the number 1 seed and the number 3 seed. So, ties game at 48. It's up. It's good. We have a third overtime period. And if you're unaware, teams now have to start going for 2-point conversions after every touchdown. So, first down and 10 for Georgia. 48-48. Third overtime. Brock Bowers breaks the tackle. Stiff arms the defender into the touchdown. Almost he breaks the barrier of frames apparently because the game just lags like crazy. But 54-48 touchdown for Georgia. And here you can see they'll be lining up for 2. They have to. They don't have a choice. This will make it an 8-point game. Stetson Bennett. Is he going to pass this one? He hands it off to Kenny McIntosh. It's read perfectly. He'll be stopped about 1.5 yards short and would not be able to get the 2-point conversion to make this an 8-point game, which means TCU gets the ball back, they score a touchdown, and they get the 2-point conversion. They win the national championship. But look at this. Max Duggan is back in the game. So he came in back for a overtime possession apparently. He'll start with an incompletion. Weird to see him back though. I mean, he's like been injured the whole game. I guess he got cleared from the blue tent because we've been playing so long, but still. And he has a completion here on a third down and 6, and that's to the 8-yard line. Huge play by Duggan to, I believe, their star receiver Quentin Johnston, if I'm not wrong. I believe he's number 4. That might have been, I can't remember, but Max Duggan looking for another pass. This one, easy. Touchdown TCU. Just like that. And it's not Quentin Johnson. It's Barber. That's right. That's his name. And Barber had the last 2 catches right there. Gave him the touchdown. And now TCU is a 2-point conversion away from winning the national championship game. What do? Max Duggan. Is it a keeper? He runs right, cuts left, and Max Duggan wins the national championship versus the Georgia Bulldogs and College Football Revamped. What a game, 56-54. We had 3 overtime periods, and the TCU Horned Frogs take down the defending champions. I never even knew this was a feature, but apparently they keep track of the classic games. It's cool to see stuff like that. This was apparently... I didn't even know NCAA football did that, but that was cool. Anyways, here's a look at the stats. Georgia dominated the board, but lost the game. Stetson Bennett, 440 yards, 4 touchdowns, and Max Duggan, not even playing most of overtime, 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. Impressive game on both sides, but TCU comes out with a national championship win. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching my first College Football Revamped video. I'll ask again, if you guys want some more, just make sure to let me know because I will gladly make some more videos. I do have a few more planned for this. A lot of possibilities. Anyways, with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.